Ice and Fire expansion. Let's talk about it. So we're going to get into that. I just did the rules for the first one, which I'm probably going to put a link in as well for that. So if you want to go back and watch the rules, because this is only going to be the rules for Ice and Fire only. So if you want to see the rules for the game, so this is going to be like all set up already, where the other one has all the setup of the main game, and this is only going to show you the setup differentiation from the core game. All right, but this is a cooperative one as opposed to a competitive, where you're going to be fighting against the Night King, who is very, very difficult, I have to say, because they've made it purposely hard so that you can't even attack him at certain things, and he's just going through the whole continent, just knocking castles down and laying down walkers, ice walkers or snow walkers or whatever they were called. And then he also has a dragon with him, which also makes things more difficult. But there's also literally a ice wall like they have in the show and the books. So I like that as well. And then we had two more characters in here, which is Daenerys Targaryen and Jon Snow. And I think both of those characters are really good. And of course, Daenerys has her dragons with her, which definitely adds in an extra layer. But anyway, let's jump into it right now. Welcome back to the channel, everyone. Thank you so much for spending time with me. And we are going to be talking about Tiny Epic Game of Thrones. This is the expansion Ice and Fire with Daenerys and Jon Snow, as well as the Night King. This is the cooperative mode. So if you haven't seen the competitive mode and the solo mode, this is the setup that we did in the last video. So definitely go check that out. I will put that link up here right now. Because you should probably look at that first before going in here, because I'm going to basically be continuing this from that video. All right, so there's going to be a few changes that we're going to be making. So what I did was I swapped out the Night's Watch here. So we have the Night's Watch here, which we didn't have before. I had Baratheon here, and then I had Robb Stark here, and I had the Starks. I now have Daenerys here as a playable character along with her dragons. So we're going to be doing a bunch of different changes for the setup here. All right, so let's open the box here and see what's inside. Now, a lot of all of the cards that came in the expansion, I already have in here. As you can see, the expansion logo. So I already mixed them in. So I have them in here continuously. If there's anything I can't use because it has symbols or whatever else, I think everything here is usable, even if I'm playing with just the core. So let's open this up first, and as well as this one here. Okay, so these are the two things we're going to be talking about first. All right, so the first thing we're going to be doing, and I kind of want to move this all down because we're going to be adding new cards to the map. So let's separate these a little bit. And we're going to be talking about the dragons and stuff like that as well. All right, so the first thing we're going to be doing is adding a new Northwest here that connects. So tonight, right now, we have two Northwest cards. Okay. All right, and that's Northeast. So we have two Northeast cards. It does come with a new castle, which goes here. All right, and it comes with new cards here that has additional rules on it. One with a solo mode. The solo mode requires the rival to work with you. I don't see a use for that. I'd rather just play two hands and make decisions on both. So I'm going to play this side. And we do have two players here. So what we're going to do is the same thing. We're going to be rolling the 5 die just like before. The Hand of the King is going to be choosing 2 at the end. This person will be choosing 1, and then these 2 would go here as follow dice. All right, just so you know that. All right, then we would have all new stuff come out. We have there's the Night King card. This is the White Walker card, and this is the Terror Pool. We also have this new card. This is the Treaty card. So, and then we'll have this one as well as far as scoring. So scoring would be replaced as well because there are no vengeance tokens in this one. So that would go away. But this is the most important one here. That is your treaty. So all of your allies are no longer going on your card. Your castles are no longer going on your card. They're going here. All right. So everything is because you're working together. So everything you have is cooperative. All right. So now we have our new expansion character stuff. So he would have his own thing there. He would have, you could also play him as a playable character instead and have Jon Snow and Daenerys, but I have Cersei there. So we put the 9 tokens here just like we did before so that he can be an ally. Okay. Daenerys starts in Dragonstone. If I was using Jon Snow as a playable character, he would start in Castle Black. He would start here. But instead he's going to start there because he's non-playable. And then of course I put my 9 Daenerys troops here and cover up the same thing as in the core game. She's covering up all of those icons that she uses to gain cards and taxes. All right, and then this would be her scoring. However, we only have 1 set of gold and 1 set of scoring. So just for use of the fact that the black is harder to see, I'm going to put that there for scoring, and we start out with 6 gold there, and we only have 1. Then we have Daenerys's 3 dragons. So we have 3 dragon eggs of 3 different colors, and then we have 3 different dragons. Okay, so we'll have to place out the eggs first, and then they will hatch into dragons, and that is her base power. All right, and okay, and then there's one other piece of the map, which is the ice wall. Okay. All right, and these are all the other expansion pieces that need to go on the board yet. All right, so we start with Night King. He's just going to go there for right now, so he has his own figure. And then we have these tokens here, which will all be face down, so I don't see what they are. And what we have is brown and blue. The brown ones are going to go everything beyond the wall, and the blue are going to be on the north side of the wall. Okay? And these will all go into fiefdom locations. Everyone but 2 of them. I guess because that becomes replayability. So I'm going to be using everything but 2. It also takes some of the swords off the map. Okay. I don't think anything goes into King's Landing. here. So I have 3 more. 1, 2. I'm not sure where the third one goes. Maybe it does. Oh, I think it does go in King's Landing. Okay, so then the last 2 go back in the box. They are unused. All right, and then I know we have 8, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So 8 of these go off to the side, and these get placed. All right, or is it 9? I think it's like that. Okay, so that would be your setup there. Then you have your White Walkers, of which there are 13. And the Night King gets his own tracker for points. We also have a dragon for him. We have an ice dragon. And this is the 13 that go here in the pool. Okay, so that's all your board set up. Then you're going to take this deck of cards. All right, this is your dragon, first of all. That's going to go here on phase 1. And then you have these cards here. These are your Ranger reports. And it has 3 for round 1, 3 for round 2, 3 for round 3, etc. So what we're going to do is we're going to start with 6, take 1 card out. Round 5, take 1 card out. Round 4, take 1 card out. And again, this is for replayability, so you don't know exactly what cards you're taking. So you have 6 cards there. The rest of them go back in the box and will never be used for this game. Alright, so then you take these 6 cards and you're going to flip over the first card. Alright, and it gives you a little setup map. Alright, so what it says, and you can leave that on top there, is that we're putting walkers, and you can only have 1 walker per area, period. If you ever place a second one, the White Walker or the Night King gets a point. Alright? Now if you notice, there's also 2 tokens here. What we're going to do is we're going to flip up this token and we're going to flip up this one. Okay? So what this is, these are 2 that are going to get resolved immediately. This is place 1 White Walker. So we place it over here. And this is a immediate terror. Okay, so we're going to talk about that in a second too. So that's how the setup would then eventually look. And these guys stay there at this point. They don't move unless they really don't move, period. the Night King will call, for them if you run out of them, but that's about the extent of it. So his goal is to go through all 6 cards without you killing him. If he gets through all 6 rounds and you haven't killed him, he wins. Your goal is to kill him before the next rounds. However, on his card here, he has 6 plus 5 plus 7. So he has 18 points plus 3. So he has 21 points of health here, plus he gets power from everyone around him, plus he gets to draw a card. So he could be literally up to 25 easily. Something that you could never, ever achieve. Plus, the dragon, by the end, is going to be traveling with him, and it has a strength of 3. And it draws a card as well. But in phase 1 only. I don't think he has one. Yeah, phase 2 he only has down to 3. So he has 21 plus 3 with the dragon is 24, plus everything around him, plus drawing a card. It's impossible. So how are you going to beat him? Plus these guys here, even individual White Walkers, have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Plus they draw a card. Anything that they never retreat, so any retreat card is 0. Alright? So we play the game as normal, except there's an additional icon here. And that means that they are trying to terrify everyone around them. So let's say Daenerys has, wouldn't be there though, it would be here. Let's say everybody has an ally, right? So if you're purchasing the hero, then the hero card would then go into whoever purchased their cards. But they have a shared thing as far as that's concerned. So let's say they have 2 sets of, because let's say everything got culled after it and they only have 2 on their mat. Now every time you take a turn, so let's say we had that and I took this turn, then he gets, and it reminds you here to do that, they take a card off the top. And what that has 2 logos there, one for Night Watch and one for Grey. So Night Watch, they would take it off of yours and put it in the Terror Pool. Oh no, they don't do that. They take one from this thing and take it in the Terror Pool. Right? Now the other one, since Grey isn't playing, they take a White Walker from here and put it in the Terror Pool. So now they are continuing to compete with you on how many people you have there. So you have to continue plotting even after you have the thing, or else you're going to lose that. So let's say now on the second turn, so a second turn happened, and now we have, again, we do terror, and now he goes with green. Green's not there, so now we have a second White Walker that comes up. So now for every 2 White Walkers here, at the end of the round, they take one off of here. So they'll take one here, they'll go back, and now they have the Night's Watch, and you don't. And what happens now is that anytime you try to attack the Night's Watch to try to get them on your side, they get +1 defense. And that's how that works. So, and I kind of house ruled, because what it says in the rule book is that every time you do a follow, one of these follows, you're supposed to draw a card. I did it after both of them combined. It's just too much. It's just too much for trying to compare of everything. So yeah, that's because the terror thing, I mean, it really messes with you as far as your alliance is concerned. And without having alliances, it's almost impossible to get the map. So now, let's say I have Cersei on Castleberry Rock, and I have, where did Daenerys go? I lost Daenerys. But anyway, also you can see on the bottom here, it says they do not attack. So now let's say that's lose 3 gold, lose 2 gold, another terror thing. There's literally none of them here. Another White Walker. So again, if I did this with a White Walker there, I would take that off and he would get a point, because I can't place one there. If one of these is turned up and the next Ranger report says to put things down where it's already face up, then I put another face down one there. Or if it's gone, I put another face down one there. And why are these here? And it's because, wow, I got really bad luck here. Really bad luck. Okay, here. I'm looking for these. And what that is dragon glass. So the dragon glass would then go there, and the dragon would come out on that dragon glass, or wherever I'm attacking, or wherever I'm trying to gain. If I'm trying to gain that dragon glass, they'll move to where I am, as long as there's a dragon glass token. Let's say it's like this. Okay, so now I can't even get here because of the walls here anyway. So once like this here says he attacks Castle's Keep, or Craster's Keep, or whatever it says. So he attacks here first, then this castle would then fall over. He destroyed that castle. And when he attacks and wins, then he places walkers on his thing and all around him. And again, if I can't place one around him, then he would gain 2 points there because I can't put it here and I can't put it there. Then the next one would have him coming attacking the pyre. I don't know where that is exactly, but it would have to be here somewhere. But anyway, that's Winterfell. Oh, Pike is right here. So he's all the way down there. So he would destroy this, and then he would gain a walker here, a walker here, a walker here, and he would immediately attack me where I'm defending. So again, these guys are 6. So how do I get them down? Well, I am going to be exploring all of these little sun tokens, but I can't do that without having 3 figures at a time. I can have 3 red and my guy, or 2 red and my guy, or 3 total. So let's say he wasn't here. I would move here with my guys. If I only have my guys and that's it, I can't unveil it. So I unveil it, and it says I can kill a walker immediately. So boom, I kill a walker, he comes back up here. But what I'm looking for here is right here, the Valyrian steel. So I take that Valyrian steel and I put that here. It's actually right here. And so as more, like the last game I had 2 of them stayed in the box, which was in here, which really sucked. Here I have 1. So I can't even get them all. But that makes them weaker and weaker and weaker until they really only have 1 hit point. And end the card turn. And so you're looking to investigate the area first, and then when I get the dragon glass, after fighting the dragon 3 times, because there's only 3 dragon glasses, I'm taking them and I'm putting him here and making him weaker. But after the dragon, after we get all 3 dragon glass, which means I need to come all the way up here, but once he comes through the wall disappears. So now I can come up here too, as he's down there. But again, I can't even go into King's Landing unless I have 3 castles, and if he's or 6 castles, and if he's destroying them all, plus that gives me points. So if my point counter is here and his point counter is here, even if I have all the glass, I can't even attack him. My point thing needs to be here or above him, even to engage with him. So it makes things really, really difficult across the board. And if he keeps destroying them, I can't get points, because instead of the castles going on my board, they're going here. And for every 2, I'm getting a point. So if he keeps destroying them, that makes things a lot more difficult for me. And again, he can really only destroy 5. He can really only destroy 5 of them. Because the first round he doesn't attack. And then he attacks for the other 5. So I need to find all that Valerium steel as quickly as possible. I need to make my alliance as quickly as possible so that I can have them go out and look for me. And at the same time, he's coming in down here and just doing White Walkers everywhere. And anytime I can't place a White Walker, he's getting points. And if he's just so far ahead of me, I can never attack him and I'll never win. And on top of that, once I get all 3 of the Valerium steels, then he, the Dragon Glass, that means that the dragon leaves here. I flip that to phase 2, and now he's with him continuously. So even though I have all the Dragon Glass, he's got 3 plus 3 for his army. I can never kill this thing. I don't think it can ever die, because it says it follows him for the rest of the turn. I don't know. Yeah, I assume that I can never kill it. Plus he gets anything around him, so you'd want to kill everything that was around him, and then on top of that he gets to draw a card. So he's got 6, and you're hoping for that. You're hoping for a retreat, because he can't retreat and he gets a 0. So you have to, that means that you have to have at least 6 in there and get lucky to kill him by round 6. So I was able to do it, but I forgot about the dragon. So technically I cheated because I forgot to put the dragon with him. And I forgot to fight the dragon up here too. So, so technically I won without the dragon. So that makes it incredibly more difficult. Plus Daenerys says she spends 2. So again, they're spending out of a combined pool, and she's going to put 1 dragon egg here, and at the end of the turn, this ended a round, this thing turns, and now she has a dragon. And the dragon adds 2 strength, so it's almost like it's a hero, and on top of that, it adds a gold every round, which is great, because you know, you don't get any of this bonus at the end of the round where you normally get gold out of here. You don't get it. You get the cards, but not the gold. So the only thing you're doing is taxing, which is your fiefdoms. And on top of that, you're not even going to be able to get to the throne really until later on when you have 6 castles, because getting 6 castles is tough. The only way to do that too is by getting alliances. So then she can either fly 3 if she's doing a march. And we never got into sailing on the last one. I totally forgot about the sailing portion of it. Sailing means that you can go pretty much up here. You can't go to the north, but you can go anywhere here. But it has to be you can't go on your same card. You have to be outside of your card for sailing. So I could go 1, 2, and go to any one of these locations here. I can go any one of the locations here. I can get any one of the locations here. I can't go anywhere here. And I can't go this far because I can't go all the way around that far. Alright, and as far as I know, I cannot sail up here. So, I think that's what it said. But I could be wrong. But yeah, that's all of the rules there. And it's extremely hard. I'll tell you that. Because this whole thing is, that's why I limited this to 1. So he's only turning over 3 fear cards every single time. If he gets that, of course, by battling them, they get an extra 1. You know, so it makes it more difficult to get them back onto your side and get that fear out of there. And then going all the way up here, I have to look at the sailing thing because, of course, you can't even sail this far north anyway, and you can't go get here by sailing because it's inland. Everything else is coastal. Every other thing is coastal. And that's why I think that you can't even sail up here, past the wall. So you would have to sail up into here and then march into here, which would make sense. I love the fact that there's a little wall here, that they gave you a wall thing. I think that's great. But yeah, and then the scoring's a little different, so you got to read the card here for scoring and stuff like that. So it has a little bit of difference. Again, you're cooperating, which I think is really cool. I love the cooperative side. I don't really have a big game group, so I'm more playing solo on co-op games by myself. And I do like the additional cars that comes in and stuff like that as well. So I think the expansion is definitely all the stuff I got. I've already used. So it's not like an expansion where you're like, I really don't need that, or I really don't like that. All of it is already in the game. Even when I'm playing, just solo mode versus the rival, I'm already using the other cards, or I'm already going to use Daenerys, or I'm going to use Jon Snow, and stuff like that. He allows you to turn a die to any side that hasn't been used. So his thing's pretty strong too. And I like the exploration side of things where I have to explore, which also reminds me of Heroes of Land, Air, and Sea, where I'm getting the little tokens and stuff like that, and I'm running around. So I like all that as well. So there's a lot to like here. All right. Well, let me know what you guys think. If I missed anything or if I messed up any of the rules. So I know I had a question on the last one where if I take over an alliance and a hero is on the map, so let's say Jon Snow is up here in Castle Black and he takes over the thing, then he takes over, I can't use that character, but even on the competitive side of the solo side, if I lose that, he just stays on the map and he doesn't go back to his card, which is what I thought originally. He does stay out, and the other player can use him until he dies. But again, it's also weird that if he dies, the other player gets the controlling player gets a point. It's very strange. So yeah, so you really got to keep track of getting points, because if he runs out too far ahead, of course I don't think he can. Is there a 30 plus 30 here? Oh yeah, he can go beyond. That's not fair. He have to stop at 30. So you can try to catch up. He can just keep going. Because at the end of the round, whatever White Walkers are on the map, he gets a point for every single one of them at the end of the round. That's crazy. And since you have to have all of your team together at 3 to go do exploration, you're really not dividing them up for recruiting. So recruiting is more difficult because unless you're doing a recruit in a march, then you have to do, once you call them at the end of the turn, then you're losing your guys, right? So it's you have to figure it out because you need 3 of them together to do an exploration. You want to explore as quickly as possible, but unless you're doing a march where you're dividing them up, you can't recruit again because they're only allowed to have 3. So you're paying money to recruit and then you're giving them right back. So, yeah, so it's a thing. It's definitely a thing. All right. Thanks for watching, guys. I hope you enjoyed it. Again, if I messed anything up, let me know. If you enjoyed it too, let me know. If you guys started playing it, if you guys have it, let me know that as well. All right. Thanks for watching, guys, and you guys have an amazing week. Thank you. Okay, so what did you guys think? Did you guys think that this is going to be awesome? Again, I've played it once. I forgot to play with the dragon. So I was able to beat him, but I guess I kind of cheated because I took out a whole layer. I just picked up the dragon glass or whatever instead of fighting the dragon for it 3 times. And then on top of that, he wasn't with him at the end, so I was able to beat him because he only had like 3 hit points whenever he pulled in the card. And of course I had knocked down. The thing is that when I played for the first time the Valyrian Steel, 2 of those swords were in the box because you have to remove 2 of them, and it just happened to be that those were there. So I was fighting the White Walkers. There you go. The White Walkers was more difficult because I wasn't able to get them down any further. But again, the problem is too that you have to stay clumped together. So when you're trying to do your recruitment, there's no place to put them because you've already have the 3, and if you don't have a march with that, then you kind of almost have to do a recruit march to be able to break people off, so you have an extra space to do recruitments on. And again, he keeps stealing your people at the same time. So just when you're about to do something with your allies, he takes them. So it's a little frustrating, that's for sure, but that's, I guess, what these games are supposed to be. But I do enjoy it. I do like this quite a bit, especially I think I like the cooperative better, of course, than I do the regular competitive game. But I think they both have their, pros and cons. All right, well, that's it for me. Thank you guys so much for watching, and we are going to be doing a Green Hornet anthology for the 90th anniversary of the radio appearance of the character. Of course, it was also a television show for a period of time with Bruce Lee. And we have Timothy Zahn, who created Thrawn for Star Wars. He's going to be helming it, as well as Kevin J. Anderson. This is an older copy of one of their old Green Hornet books from Moonstone. This is going to be a hardcover, is what this new one's going to be. But if you're familiar with Timothy Zahn, he created Thrawn for Star Wars. Kevin J. Anderson writes for Dune, as well as other things. Really, really amazing writers on this thing. So if you want to get involved, we're about to hit 300 followers. Definitely check out the link in the description below, or go to greenhornetnoir.com and get signed up for notifications. We're going to be launching in literally a week. All right? I'll see you guys on the next episode. Thanks for watching.